Good afternoon, all. I welcome moderator of today's afternoon session, Dr. Hari Prakash UP, Professor, Department of MBA, Srinivas Institute of Technology. Don Prakash, sir, are you there? Don Prakash,
Hello,
sir?
madam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm
You
there,
can,
ma'am. Ma'am,
yeah, you can start your presentation.
ma'am, I just asked Hari Prakash sir one message. Put a word, please. Can you just
Yeah, sir has informed us.
Sir, can I just go a second if you don't mind? Hello, sir.
Hello, you want to do second, right?
Yes, sir. If that is possible.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, second and third will do. Yeah.
Razia ma'am, are you ready? Dr. Razia ma'am? Hello? Razia ma'am, are you ready?
Madam, unmute.
Unmute yourself.
Ma'am, I'm ready.
Start your presentation.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am.
You can start your presentation, madam.
Yeah. Is my screen is available there?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please put it for slideshow model, madam.
Okay.
Slideshow.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Razia Ayam, Assistant Professor in Economics. I'm working in Maski, Raichur district. The topic of my seminar is diversification patterns of spices processing firm with special reference to pepper. Awareness of health and environmental issues is growing fast in the global level. Uh, by considering this and sustainability in another side, which is always a matter in economic development. And when we see a food industry, we can see that due to consumer resistance to chemical activities, I think a chemical in the form of artificial color and artificial flavor, people prefer more for natural colors, flavors.
Ma'am,
We can see that.
Razia ma'am,
Can you?
Yeah, ma'am.
can you make it slideshow, ma'am? Slideshow.
F5.
F5.
Press F. Yeah. No. F5.
F5, ma'am. F5.
Yeah.
Is okay. Or otherwise, you have to keep changing the slides. So it was in the first slide. Now it is in second. Okay, you can continue.
Next to that 68% on the left side, there is a small icon. If she clicks that, also it will work. Next to the 68% zoom below, bottom right side.
Is it okay now?
Yes. You have to keep changing the slides. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. In the recent days, we can see that there is a more concern towards food and medicinal aspects in the agriculture products or food products, we can say. In this scenario, I can say that so when we see India, we know that India is an agriculture country. Apart from that, India is also known as homeland of spices. Different types of spices is producing different states in India. So along with that, I have also wanted to quote one more aspect that Indian spices in terms of qualities is enjoying a premium position in international market. So, introduction to the topic, spices constitute an important group of agriculture commodities, and we know that it is also say that the history of spices has more stories in agriculture commodities. As I quoted you already, India is also known as homeland of spices. In the global level, Indian spice is having a premium position, and it is also called as the spice bowl of the world. When we see the demand side, the estimated growth rate of
Madam, you are not audible.
Hello, ma'am.
We can't hear you, madam. Madam, we cannot hear you. It's not audible. Maybe you have to check your mic settings. Don Prakash?
Yes, sir. I am ready, sir.
Yeah. So you can start.
Let me know, sir. Should I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure. I have presented my laptop. Can you see that, sir? I'm using another device for audio. So can you see my PowerPoint, sir?
It is still showing
I'm
starting.
presenting it from my other device, sir, because there's an issue with the audio.
Okay.
Just a second, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can't you see my screen, PowerPoint?
No, PowerPoint is still not visible. It is saying it is starting to share the content.
Okay, sir. Sir, if the next participant is ready, I think it's better. We'll not waste time. I'll try to fix this as soon as possible.
What is that, Don?
My screen is not getting shared, ma'am.
1 second, Don.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it's-
Yes, yes.
Post ಮಾಡೋಣ post ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Shall I just share the PPT with you?
Okay.
Share it in your email address. Ma'am?
Yeah, you can WhatsApp.
I'll WhatsApp you. Sir. I'll WhatsApp you.
I'll WhatsApp in the group, the conference group. Don, you can share the slide in the conference group so that other.
Okay,
No,
sir.
then
I will do that. I will do that. Sir, my colleague, Shaini Naveen is ready with presentation. I think till then, I think she could present so that we save time. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Who is that?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Shaini Naveen. Can I do my presentation?
Don, shall we have your presentation later then?
Please do that. I'll do the short message immediately.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Thank you, Don. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Is my PPT visible?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is performance evaluation of mutual funds, a study of equity diversified categories in India. Mutual funds have become an important tool for mobilizing the savings of individuals and institutions. So we can see over the past few decades, the mutual fund industry has seen immense growth and has become a significant player in the Indian capital market. So we can see that the average asset under management of Indian mutual fund industry has crossed 39.62 trillion by the end of January 2023. It is in the span of 5 years, we can see twofold growth. So it is a huge growth. We can see it is happening, and the mutual funds are managed by these mutual fund managers who are professionally managing and mobilizing the savings of the small investors by investing the diversified pools of securities, which includes shares, debentures, bonds, and commodities in the market according to funds objective, and the income is distributed among them according to the units owned. The performance of mutual funds have been widely debated topic right from the introduction of Jensen model of mutual fund performance in 1964. The subject is extremely relevant to the investing community, both retail and institutional, as investment decisions and strategies are mainly guided by the fund's historical performance. Performance analysis of the funds is equally helpful for mutual fund managers, as this can be utilized as a parameter for the manager's decision-making ability. Further, this topic is relevant to the research community and academicians, as various time-tested performance models can be developed and evaluated for the benefit of investors, mutual fund companies, and others. Coming to the various literature reviews, starting from Jensen's model in 1968, Henderson, Wormers, Swinkles, and Zak in 2009, Chaudhary and Chava in 2012, Rakesh Kumar in 2012, Jain, Danda Batra and Anjum in 2012, Zafar Jube and Ali in 2013. All these researchers have done their significant studies in the performance of mutual funds both in stock selection and market timing. It is revealed that majority of the empirical studies on this market timing and stock selection ability of the fund managers do not show significant timing and selection skill. These are very evident in the developed economies and also in some of the few emerging economies. So my study is basically to find out in India if this particular uh, uh, we are concentrating on the equity linked saving scheme funds, ELSS funds, whether this particular equity diversified category is doing their is with regard to the performance of these ELSS schemes in India and whether they are having stock picking skills and market timing skills. So the objectives of my study are to study the performance of ELSS schemes in India, to compare the performance of ELSS schemes in India using stock picking skills and market timing skills. The present study attempts to evaluate this performance for a period of 8 years. That is, the daily returns are considered in this. The sample is taken of 38 ELSS fund schemes from January 2013 to December 2020. And the data for the study is collected from the websites of AMCs and AMFI. Sensex data is selected for as a market proxy as a benchmark for the study, and the risk-free return is the 91. Sorry, Sensex data is a market return, and the 91 days Treasury bills of Government of India is taken as a risk-free rate of return for the analysis. And the model which is chosen basically is the Trainer's Maslow model. And the difference is the daily returns are considered in this particular study, including the average return, standard deviation, and beta values. The analysis is put here. I don't think it is that visible, but the study tells that here all the 38 ELSS funds which are taken, they have shown majority of them are positively and significantly, statistically significant in case of stock picking skills, that is alpha, which is represented by alpha, the intercept, whereas gamma values which intercept, which shows the market timing ability are all negative. That means the fund managers of ELSS schemes do not show market timing skills, but they individually show stock picking skills. But if we are taking them together, that is the both the stock picking skills as well as market timing skills, it is shown that they fail to show the stock picking as well as market timing skills. They are taken together, they are negative, and it is highly statistically significantly negative for those funds. Coming to the results and findings, it shows that the alpha, beta, and gamma coefficients of 38 ELSS funds chosen for the study include 30 funds from growth, 7 from dividend, and 1 from bonus option schemes. Majority of the ELSS funds under the sample provide better stock selection skills with positive alphas, which are statistically significant at 5%. The beta values are all statistically significant, and they are less volatile as they're showing the values less than 1. But the gamma values which show the market timing skills are projecting negative values, which means the sample funds are not able to time the market. However, the fund manager's ability based on both stock selection and market timing is found negative, which is highly statistically significant for ELSS funds chosen for the study. Which means it shows that there is a positive effect of stock selection and the timing skills among the ELSS funds. It means it fails to show the null hypothesis. They are market timings are negative, stock selection are positive. They are taken together. The fund managers are not able to time the market accurately. Though the funds show better stock selection skills, none of them show market timing skills, which shows that the failure of fund managers to time the market. Its conclusion is the performance of the mutual fund schemes in terms of return and risk analysis and various Sharpe ratio, Trainer ratio is taken, but trend and Maslow model is used in this particular study in order to show how the stock selection and the market timing skills of ELSS fund managers are taken for the period of 8 years. And there are clear evidence that the investment fund managers lack market timing and but able to effectively perform stock selection for the selected category of mutual funds. So these are the references for the study. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Madam, when did you send this paper?
I have sent it. I have sent only the abstract
Okay, when? Today?
yesterday.
So please send the title in that, conference group so that we can add this, as it is not listed for this session.
Okay.
And coming to this paper, the methodology part is missing, madam. Not added the methodology part.
I think
Like what are the sources of, data, the secondary source, those things are not detailed.
it is not detailed, sir. Actually, it is last moment.
And the visibility of the table is not clear. That you have shown a
Yeah, that is not because I put all the 38 funds together. It is not clear, sir. It is.
Coming to one question, madam. Now, in the mutual fund industry, what is the technology, the changes in the technology? Any new technologies that has been added? Any information on that?
New technology in the sense, sir?
Innovative technologies in the mutual fund industry?
Innovative technologies regarding the models you're asking, sir?
Technology. Any changes that has happened in the mutual fund industry because of inclusion of new technology in the past 10 years or so?
There is a immense growth in the performance wise. We can see almost twofold growth is seen in their performance, sir. Asset under management has shown a huge growth. That is 5.5-fold growth is seen in the span of 5 years. And actually, I'm not following what you actually asked.
The technology, any technology that has been added in the mutual fund industry, say online platform for investing in mutual fund.
Yeah, we have various online. Individually, people can do their analysis and find out the performance through various apps which has developed for mutual funds. We have SIPs and various systematic plans for which individuals can take their own decisions, though the fund managers are there. The performance can be known through online. We have various apps like Grow, Zerodha, and various even mutual funds work under that, which shows us the analysis for say 3 months or 6 months analysis or 1 year analysis. The performance is seen.
Any other questions from audience or other delegates? So I believe there are no other questions. Okay, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Good
you,
pick.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So Don Prakash, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'll just share it right away. Yeah, sir. I think you can see me. Hello, can you all hear me? Hello. Okay, great. I think I can't hear you. One sec. Very good afternoon to one and all gathered here. Shall I just go further, sir?
Okay, I think there was a sound issue. I'll just get it.
Okay, good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I am Don Prakash here, Assistant Professor, SDM PG Center, and my co-author for this paper is Mr. Sagar Srinivas, who is the Assistant Professor, Institute of Management and Commerce, Srinivas University. The topic here we have taken, and the research what we are focusing mainly was on a case study basis on the role of digitalization in Indian business scenario. So basically, since it's a 5 minutes presentation, we have cut down on a lot of these things for presentation. Our idea was to do a bit of a comprehensive secondary data study of a few scenarios of different businesses and how the digital disruptions have taken place in context of Indian business. So can't you hear me?
Yeah. Actually, there is a power cut here, so I can hear you in the mobile, but in
Yes,
the
sir.
hall we cannot hear you.
Okay.
Just
So should I just wait, sir, for a couple of minutes?
yeah, a couple of seconds. Yeah, couple of minutes.
Sure,
1
sure,
minute.
sir. Just let
Yes.
me know when it's ready, sir.
Yes. Yeah, you can start now.
Okay, great, sir. So the topic we have taken here is a case study on the role of digitalization in Indian business scenario. I'm Don Prakash and my co-author is Mr. Sagar Srinivas. Since we got 5 minutes of presentation time, we have just got the gist of the whole paper together. So the main predominant methodology used was secondary data analysis of some of the prominent case studies, which has created quite a game changer in the Indian business scenario. So let me quickly rush through the next particular slide here. So the roadmap of this presentation is as follows. So yeah, we are going to start with the introduction. Then these are certain things. Our major focus is on a couple of case studies and certain aspects as to how digitalization has made an impact, and also we want to see a bit of the challenges and limitations and the threats possessed by this kind of digitalizations. And we're going to show some examples of which are the different industries which has got into digitalization, and how some of the companies who refuse to get into the digitalization of their businesses were top in the market, but they have fallen down, and some of them have even closed their companies right now. So going further, basic idea here is to to explore the impact of digitalization. So key pointers here were how this digitalization has become a game changer not only in Indian context but in the world context. Post-COVID, I think the world got to know as to the importance of how we could use digitalization, including right now. I'm seated in my college. We are having Viva going on. So as soon as the Viva got over, I can just switch on. Of course, there were some technical glitches. So these are always the limitation of having technology. But then being a professional, some majority of them are in different parts of the world right now, connected through Cisco, and they are connecting with each other. So these are some of the drivers in digitalization, as you would already know. India's growing digital economy and its potential is huge and humongous. Challenges faced by businesses also is something what we have looked at in our paper. So basically, the Indian economy itself has gone in a very different way. The UPI impact in Indian economy is not even seen in some other developed countries in the world. In fact, now some of the developed countries in the world are looking at India in terms of how they are managing the UPI payments and a lot of these challenges which it's come across. Let me just take an example of an auto rickshaw. You take an auto rickshaw drive and the charge is 77 rupees, for example. Previously, you just pay 100 rupees and the rickshaw driver may just say that, we do not have change. So what happens then? And they do not have change, not their mistake, but because of the UPI payments and all, we can exactly give 77 rupees. And if you're happy, you can give a 3 rupee tip also. So these are certain challenges which you may not realize, but this has all come through digitalization put together. The QR code scanning. People do not have to carry physical cash in today's world. So again, that and a lot of other aspects have come into play. So examples of digital disruptions in Indian industries, you can take it in e-commerce, you can take it in fintech companies, healthcare, educational sector. We are all teachers, so we actually know how much of digital impact it is actually coming in. The coming of logistics, let it be the blockchain, we get to know where our particular product is, and a lot of these kind of things. So impact is huge, including on consumer behavior also, not on businesses also. So quickly jumping on to a couple of case studies, what we have included, a bit on Flipkart and Amazon. Hello. Yeah, I think my voice is repeating. I'm sorry. So overview of companies like Flipkart, Amazon, and all, how they have taken the shopping experience into next level. So there are a lot of examples on that we wanted to cover on, like digitalization, how the sales have increased, how the customer satisfaction, it's become better, like a delight right now, how they've improved their supply chain. So this is one part of the case. A company like Paytm, when it started off, it created a huge revolution. I just give an example of auto rickshaw driver, right? And how, as a consumer as well as auto rickshaw people, how the things are benefited. Of course, from a humorous point of view, the rickshaw drivers actually are not very happy, because right now the excess of change which they used to give an excuse of, anymore they cannot cheat maybe the customers also. But again, usage of Paytm, usage of UPI, I'll just give my own example. I still don't remember when was the last time I paid a physical cash. For last few days I've been using UPIs, credit cards, and all of that. So this is a huge boom for a lot of businesses to look into. Again, a case study on the education industry itself. A lot of digital tools were used before COVID, but if you saw COVID and pandemic, like majority of the conferences and research papers, you see how blended learning has changed significantly and made an impact even after post-COVID. So right now, the conferences which used to have a huge budget, right now we could actually efficiently run it through because of the usage of such technologies. Of course, there are some limitations of the sound, the audio, including my presentation. Just 10 minutes back, we had a huge challenge regarding, it running and whether it was displaying or not. So these were some of the challenges. Moving further, see, these are some of the critical drivers of digitalization in business, if you could ask us. So one thing, definitely, website used to be a luxury before, but now it's an absolute necessity. Apps are coming into play, QR codes are coming, online payments, e-wallet payments, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, deep learning, Internet of Things, over-the-top application. Now you just see the paradigm shift. People used to see everything on television. Now everything is switching slowly back to the OTT. IPL 2008, when it was launched, there was huge viewership on television rights, and hardly there was any kind of rights for the digital right. But the last kind of bidding, you would have seen Jio bid almost equal to the television rights. So you actually see the phenomenal shift in the digital platform, and you actually get to know the exact number of viewers and statistics and analytics which is coming in. Previously, they used to do TRP, which was not an exact perfect number, but now through proper analytics, you'll get to know where the viewer is from, what is their demographics, and all of that put together very specifically. SaaS, software as a solution and service. Again, it's changing the whole paradigm put together. Online reviews and ratings. Consumers are getting more and more empowered. So customers and businesses are both have to take this into consideration. Cloud offices and remote team. This is where you don't need a physical entity put together. So you can actually operate remotely. You may have your employees in different parts of the world, and you can connect operatedly. These are things. Co-work zones. Again, you don't have to physically invest a lot. So technology is working together. Blockchain technology, virtual reality, augmented reality. So a lot of these things, the VFX, if you see the movie industry, entertainment industry put together, has a humongous kind of impact. Video conferencing tools, online collaborating tools, faster and cheaper internet nowadays, smarter and cheaper smartphone, home delivery, drop shipping, work from home. These are instrumental in changing the business landscape. So industries which are impacted hugely. Just coming to the conclusion of these things, banking and financial is totally has a 360-degree change. Customers do not actually prefer to go to banks these days. So you automatically have everything connected on net banking, your apps and everything put together. Educational institution is totally changing. And it's going to constantly change. Hotels and restaurants right now, there are cloud kitchens, as I just spoke about cloud in the previous one. E-commerce, retail, hospitality, hospitals and healthcare. It has totally revolutionized. We have telemedicines coming into play, and a doctor who's an expert in some other part of the country can be doing operations from different part of the country without, making a life be lost, and making sure instead of the patient coming to the doctor can operate and reach a particular patient. Or let it be automobiles. We have EV cars. We have everything coming to an app about what is the temperature of the car, whether there's some emergency. Everything is getting digitalized. Entertainment industry, the whole thing is changing. Transportation, logistic, manufacture, legal part of it. You have artificial intelligence coming here into play, and apps like Keto for donation for social causes and various other services. But then there's the last part of challenges. Now, cyber securities. There is, you might have seen a Netflix show called Jamtara, where how people try to con people and try to get their OTPs and do a lot of these things. So that becomes a threat. One side you have a lot of pros, but then there is this cons. Case studies of companies who didn't understand the impact of digital revolution. BPL television, just to get a quick case study, in the year 2000 almost every second house had a BPL television, but they were happy to be number one, while other companies like Samsung, Onida and all others, LG, they were working on flat screen and flat and smart screen where BPL didn't understand. Likewise with Nokia, they were happy with their Java technology, but when Android came into picture, they were not into the market. And then this case, Kodak, we know, Kingfisher Airlines, we know, Videocon, we know. So finally, to conclude, impact of digitalization is huge. So to make sure that businesses understand the requirement, understand the scene, be 2 steps ahead of the competitor is a must. So with this quick presentation, I like to thank the organizers for giving me time. So I'm open for questions.
Yeah, Don Prakash,
Yes, sir.
a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
the topic is interesting, but it looks very broad.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So one thing what you can do in the next studies is that focus on one area,
Yes, sir.
maybe one sector, say education sector, digitization in education sector. You can select, and further, you can do lot of secondary data research on that. So
Yes, sir.
various studies that has been done in that particular area. So that is nothing but the literature reviews in that
Yes.
particular area you need to collect and have very specific objectives of the research paper,
Yes,
and
sir.
then you can do a study like that. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
a very broad area, digitization, the role of digitization in the Indian business scenario. So, different industries are there. So the role of digitization in these industries, we can prepare several, papers.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is one of the suggestion.
Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful suggestion, sir. Actually, our intention was to start, as you said, sir. We wanted actually a kind of broader purview of the same. Then we wanted to identify some industry which are close to us, like education sector, healthcare, and then we wanted to go deeper. So definitely, sir, great suggestion, sir. Thank you so much. We'll definitely look into the coming conferences to present such kind of papers, sir, and do more research on those lines.
Any questions from the audience?
Any questions from the audience? No. Thank you so much, Don Prakash.
Thank you so much, organizers, and sorry for the inconvenience caused. Thank you.
Don, you are going to present another paper also?
No, that is my co-author, sir. He is Mr. Sagar Srinivas. He'll be presenting. We have a Viva to go to, so I just thought this present paper I'll be presenting. He'll be presenting that paper last time. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Sagar Srinivas, are you ready?
Sir, I'll just give a call to him and check. Maybe because of the schedule, it was put last, right, sir? So I think he's having class. I'll just cross-check with him a minute and get back, sir. Maybe someone else, if they are ready, sir, just you can go ahead, sir.
Okay. Madam Cheryl, you are ready?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Madam.
Yes. Can I go ahead with the presentation? Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, you can start your presentation.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cheryl. We are from Department of Humanities and Management, Manipal Institute of Technology. And the title of our study is The Rise and Rise of Social Media Influences, a review of the current literature and future research directions. So over the past few years, popularity of social media influencers has been growing exponentially, making influencer marketing very prevalent in the business and the company strategies. And despite the mounting interest of researchers and marketing professionals, the academic work remains partial and fragmented to an extent. So social media influences. So this research basically it is a thorough and critical review, and which is vitally required in light of the important role that social media influencers play in the consumer decision making process. So a review of the relevant studies which have been published in the peer-reviewed academic journals was performed, and this paper basically aims to lay out the future avenues that reflect the emerging areas in the field of marketing. So what is social media influencers? Social media influencers are individuals who actively use social media platforms. They possess established credibility in a specific industry, and they have an access to a huge audience. So these qualities persuade others, that is the followers, to act based on their recommendations and encourage them to purchase a specified product of a particular brand. Ample of research studies have shed light that the growth of social media has profoundly altered consumers' interactions with brands. As influencer marketing has come to be known, a lot of businesses are realizing and focusing on the advantages of working with these influencers so that they can promote their products as well as their services by providing them complimentary items or on even on monetary grounds. So basically, why do brands use social media influencers? The main is to encourage the positive customer responses and enable both the influencer and their followers to take part in a co-creation of a brand image on social media platforms. Then we come to the methodology. So we have selected papers from 3 databases which are the most widely used, which is EBSCO, Science Direct, and Emerald. As we can see in the slide, the studies screened, assessed, and included are given. Studies which are excluded are based on like those studies which are not in English language. We are only focusing on academic peer-reviewed articles, so non-academic is excluded. Any duplicated or replicated records are being eliminated, and irrelevant articles are also being negated. So by studying these articles, we can come to these conclusions. That is, first is based on the descriptive analysis. A quantitative type of approach is being followed at a predominant level, which is 76%, as we can see in the slide, whereas mixed methods approach is being used, that is only 5%, and I think a lot of focus is needed on this particular research approach. When it comes to social media platforms, the result of our review indicates that Instagram has been the most examined social media platform, which is 42%, which is then followed by YouTube 25%, Facebook 19%, and others. Coming to the future research directions, we have explored 3 areas which are theory, context, and methodology. So the scholarly work in these areas is insufficient to an extent, and we have suggested few areas that need to be addressed in future research studies. Coming to theory, we can use source credibility theory, PKM models, social comparison and attribution theories, which are not being used to a greater extent. We can address the potential differences between different SMI types, that is the mega, micro, nano influencers, and examine whether they yield like different consumer responses or not. Investigating attributes of successful message strategies and finding the importance of negative brand endorsement situations, extending the existing research pertaining to antecedents, outcomes, mediators, and moderators related to the social media influencers, and studying the consumer well-being when it comes to social media influencer campaigns. Coming to the context, future research can focus on extending the classification of goods to include tangible as well as intangible goods, that is from any of the service industries, investigating differences between familiar and unfamiliar brands, exploring the impact of product types on the effectiveness of sponsorship disclosure, focusing on different social media platforms rather than Instagram and Facebook, which is Twitter and Snapchat, which are also one of the growing platforms in the field of influencer marketing, and focusing on cross-platform comparison. When it comes to methodology, as we have seen in the earlier slides, a lot of the research is focused based on quantitative type of approach. So conducting and using mixed methods approach and qualitative studies will be of greater importance. Sample consumers from multiple sources and utilizing more sophisticated experimental apparatus which includes real world influencers, the live content which is posted by SMIs, and the participants' actual behavior. We come to the theoretical as well as the practical implications. So theoretical implications focuses on how we can use the different antecedents, mediators, and moderators to explain the effectiveness of social media influencers. When it comes to practical implications, it revolves around developing persuasive influencer marketing campaigns as well as maximizing the marketing effectiveness. When we talk about antecedents, mediators, and moderators, the different mediators, moderators such as the source characteristics, the influencing factors, the content attributes, the moderators including brand types, product types, and the desire, the brand attitude, the brand loyalty can be realized and worked upon. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Madam,
Yes, sir.
yeah, what is the difference between social media influencers and social media marketing?
So social media marketing will include social media marketing will basically social media influencer will focus upon those influencers or individuals who work only using social media platforms. Social media marketing will include different types of social media, and it need not just include influencers, but it will include other aspects too.
So does
Social media
social
marketing
media-
will also include like your engine optimization, the analytics, the content writing. Whereas influencers, when we talk about influencers, it is only restricted to the individuals and the content which they post on social media.
So does it mean that social media influencers come under social media marketing?
Yes, sir, it is also one part of it. It is also one part of it, one tiny, which is also a growing, a very prominent growing field.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions from the audience? Okay, madam. A good paper.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Sagar Srinivas, are you ready?
My slides are visible, sir?
Yeah, your slide is visible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is a paper which we are attempting to write, where the topic is the sustainability in global management education. It's basically a case study with myself, Sagar Srinivas, and co-authored by Don Prakash. Basically, an introduction which we would give or we would like to give is now promoting sustainability is essential. So that when we are talking about global environment or the world's environment, we will have a lot of challenges with respect to the environmental degradation, conflict, injustice, and the climatic changes also which are there. So education has earned the particular backing from the government worldwide, which is also playing a notable role in improving the livelihoods globally. So the purpose of sustainable development is to stabilize our economy, environmental as well as the social needs pertaining to a particular aspects where the present generation as well as the future generation has a lot of benefits through this. So with this particular aspect, we have two objectives with respect to the particular paper to explore the particular importance of the sustainability in global management education, and also with respect to the role of management education in promoting sustainable business practices, which is there. So when we are talking about sustainability and when you're talking about global business, this is what we need to look in with respect to SWOT, as to what we need to concentrate on with respect to the strengths, whether there is willingness, the human resource, whether there is infrastructure in place, and also with respect to the access of internet, as well as the support of invention, as well as the patents that come across as a strength. When it comes to weakness, the coordination, lack of funds, we need to create a lot of awareness with respect to what is going on in the global market. The presence in the global market needs to be developed also. So lack of strategies is also something which we need to look at in terms of weaknesses. Opportunities is the entire market growth, the worldwide recognition, the skilled workforce which we can have or which we can develop over the period of time, and the threats any which ways are with respect to the security issues, the roadmap which is not very clear, which we need to develop, absence of proper planning. There might be a huge investment which we need to get into in terms of when we are implementing a particular global education system in place. Now, these are the four driving forces with respect to a development in the education sector, that is improve access and the particular retention in quality education, basis education. You have to have a particular orientation or reorientation with respect to the particular educational programs so that it becomes sustainable, increase public understanding as well as awareness as to how is this particular aspect going to work. Training in terms of the different sectors, because we need to ensure we cover all the possible sectors which we are going to enter into. And we are talking about the global sustainability. Now, these are the 7 strategies as to how we think we can ensure or we have that particular aspect where we have a proper vision building. We also have a particular ownership as well as the consultation that is done. It can either be overseas consultation or a joint venture or a partnership that we need to get into, where we develop network and we also develop some sort of strategy where it's a win-win situation for both who are getting into a partnership or consultancy that is there. The fourth one is capacity building as well as training. We need to ensure we optimize or get ourselves trained and be ready for the particular opportunity that is available. Fifth one is research and innovation, which actually plays an important role so that we need to contribute contribute towards the particular society, the different problems, challenges that are there, which we are facing. Use of technology as well as the particular communication technology where you can connect with the global resource or which you can connect with the particular different resource that is there. And then you need to constantly monitor as well as evaluate. Continuous evaluation as well as monitoring the particular growth or improvement, even if there is a decline, and then I think you need to be a little alert, and then do not allow do not allow that particular aspect to go out of hands. So this is what we think about in terms of the sustainable development, which actually has a lot of scope. This you can also have this particular model being catered to all ages when we are going into the global education system. Thank you, sir.
So in this paper, you could have shown some data on some time period, how there was, growth of, education, in terms of, the technology and all, some graph, some data.
Yes, sir. We are still working on the paper. I think I will make note of this particular suggestion and surely incorporate in the paper that is there.
Okay. The growth of maybe the online education.
Yes, sir. I think we have successfully moved on from the regular education to the NEP that is already there. So I think Srinath University will also be planning for a global course where people from different countries can join, get themselves upgraded to the particular qualification that is required. So I think we need to think, and those things can also be included in the particular paper that is there.
Any questions from the audience? Otherwise, a good paper, Sagar.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I will make note of that suggestion which you gave me, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Razia ma'am. Okay, ma'am, you can start your presentation.
Yes.
My slides are visible there?
No, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am. No. Just you are sharing the content. Yeah, now it is visible, ma'am. Please. Oh, now it was visible.
Thank you. Respected dignitaries and dear students. I am Dr. Razia Iyer, Assistant Professor, Government State College, Musky, Raichur District. And my topic is diversification patterns of spices processing firms with special reference to pepper.
Are you in two systems? Lot of disturbance.
Yes, yes.
Please switch off the mic of the other system.
Yes, in order to check whether it is available or what, we are checking in two systems. So yes, I'll close one and I'll start. awareness of health and an environmental issue is growing fast at the global level, we can see. And we know that due to the consumer resistance of a chemical and the artificial color flavors in the food, the people prefer for natural color flavors and other things in the food. In the emerging condition, we can see that the spices actually play a great role in terms of health promotion and health beneficial effects. As we know that India is an agriculture economy and it is blessed for agriculture activities. And we also add for this as India is also known as homeland of spices, where lots of spice growing aspects is there, and the quality of the spice India, what is actually producing is enjoying a premium quality in the international market. As I have told you, India is a country which is also known as a homeland of spices. It is also known as the spices bowl of the world. And I can say that India's spices is enjoying near monopoly in the international market. When we see the demand side of the spices in the world, we can see that 3.19% there is a demand, which is more than the population growth rate. And as I mentioned you already, there is a need and there is a change in the demand in the food industries where the people demand more for processed food and ethnic foods. Due to the intrinsic quality of Indian spice is enjoying a premium preference and monopoly in international market. Other than this, when we see WTO and the agreements of AWO and all, we can see that India has got GI in some of the spices like Malabar pepper and Alapi, green cardamom, Coorg green cardamom, Naga chili, and we can also say some Guntur chili, and many of such spices is actually having a GI in international market. A statement of the research problem. Today's spice processing industry actually dominating the food industry. And we can also say that the most of the spice industry is mushrooming around the world. But spices in detail as a vast spectrum. So my study is restricted only to the pepper. Objectives of the study is studying trends of the trends in production and export of pepper, and studying the value-added product in the pepper, and to identify the recent diversified products in pepper. Methodology of the study is based on secondary data, data which we have collected from Spice Board of India and FAO data, then International Pepper Community, and other the secondary sources reports is used. And to study the trends, we have used regression analysis. Pepper. Pepper is actually known as a gold wine or black gold because of its economical and medicinal benefits. When we see international market in pepper, we can say that 95% of the pepper producing countries is confined to these 6 nations: Indonesia, Brazil, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and India. And another notable aspects in terms of pepper international market is till 1990, India is actually having a supreme position, and I can say it is having a prime status in the production and export of pepper. But after 1990s, we can see that Indonesia is standing as the first country which produced more than India. And when we see the contribution to the world export, we have 10.8% from pepper. Most of the Indian states are producing pepper. We can say Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andaman, Nicobar Islands is also producing pepper. But the pepper producing states, the highly pepper producing states is Kerala and Karnataka. out of which 90% of our production belongs to these two states. Here is a trends in the production and export of pepper. For this regression analysis, we have used data of 1985 to 2015. When we see these 30-year data, we have found that there is a great change in international market is because of the entry of WTO in the year of 1995. So that the part is divided into three phases. Phase 1, pre-WTO, post-WTO part 1 and part 2. This is the equation that we have got. By looking into the sign of the variable, we can say that there is a positive development in the production of pepper, and the p-value which is less than 0.01, which is statistically significant, and the R-square value is 29.1%. So we can say that there is a positive impact in the production of pepper. And when it comes to pepper export in India, both in terms of quantity and value is discussed. In both the areas, we can see that the quantity is also positively, there is a positive growth, and at the same time, when it comes as value also, we can see there is a positive growth. Then value-added pepper products. Actually, pepper product is divided into three categories on the basis of its value: green pepper-based product, and black pepper-based product, and pepper byproducts. So accordingly, we have canned and bottled green pepper, dehydrated green pepper, frozen green pepper, green pepper pickle, white pepper. This is after taking the outer layer of the green pepper, we will get inside the white pepper. Black pepper based product is powder, oil, and oil residues. Then byproducts is pepper salt, pepper husk, light pepper, pepper pinheads, etc. Then when we see the recent trend as the diversified patterns in the productions, most of the time we can say because of the change in lifestyle, because of the change in the production aspects, there are different products of pepper is demanded in international market, like pure pepper powders and the masala powders, cooking paste, instant mix. Then the different colors of pepper powder, black, white, green, etc. Then the pepper paste and chutney. These are the things where there is a high demand in international market. And my findings of the studies is, I can say that the countries like USA, Germany, Italy, UAE, France, Saudi Arabia, these developing countries takes the lion's share from Indian pepper. They have huge demand for our pepper. And we can also see that from the studies that there is a continuous rise both in the quantity and value of the pepper. This positive sign indicate that there is a wide scope for export of pepper. And we can also see that when we see the different diversified patterns of pepper production, there is a high demand for instant mix. So we can say that the instant mix industry has a good scope in the futures. Then other than that, some of the highlights of the pepper market, which give future hope is the first pepper is included in WTO, under which we have AOA agreements, under which we have HS code system in which pepper is one product, and in pepper, Malabar pepper and Sarawak pepper is having GI trademarks. And recently, India is given duty-free import and value addition of free export facilities. And in the international market, these are the Indian brands which is having a high demand is like Flavorate and MDH, and we can also see MTR, Ayush, Shakti, Achi, etc. By looking into this, we can say that the development of product and diversification and value addition in pepper definitely will give a good opportunity in the future. In this connection, we can say that there is a need to improve some IT developments, and most of the time we can see that farmer is producing these crops as mixed crops, but there is a need to go for main crops as such. And this has to be enhanced either by the exhibitions, meetings, and advertisements, or NGO corporations, research universities, and etc. Thank you.
Madam, in your paper, you have mentioned data, facts, but the sources are missing.
Yes, sir. I have not shown the data because it is a detailed data. Let me share you. If you want to see the data.
So it is always better when you are presenting
Yeah.
data facts, it is always better to give the source in brackets.
Yeah.
That is one thing. And
Yeah,
literature part, literature review part was missing.
Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely.
So you can add that
Yeah.
for further research. And representation of data, a graphical representation while you are doing some
Okay.
presentations, it will be having a better appeal. Say maybe
Yeah.
timeline,
True, true.
the export of pepper, how there is
Yes.
increase, you can show that a graphical manner,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely, definitely. I will incorporate, sir.
A good paper, madam, good study.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And at the final, I wanted to acknowledge you all. I'm a Mangalorean, but working in Raisur. Nice to see you all here.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Hari Prakash, sir. Good evening, all. Here we come to the end of our 2 days international conference on sustainable innovative strategy for business development in current scenario. The real asset of the conference is the authors, without whom the international conference would have not been possible to organize. With great sense of honor, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who are sincerely committed to this international conference and made it a fruitful one. We are thankful to our keynote speaker, Dr. Habib Rahman. He gave us the idea about sustainable development, referring to economic development without depletion of natural resource and need of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. And he highlighted the impact of COVID, how the COVID had its impact, and the sustainable development was stuck. And the major issues and challenges of sustainable development, the main highlights were saving us from ourselves and how we can reach sustainability in 2030. He covered various other areas like sustainability in banking and insurance, sustainability in harnessing human capital, make work better for human, designing for human sustainability, and how people have to concentrate on safety of the world as a whole. Then in the afternoon, yesterday afternoon, around 10 papers were presented covering various areas. First was Mrs. Nirmala MT and Mrs. Hema BD presented a paper on role of digitalization, sustainability and development in business. They spoke about the digitalization and how it can lead to help the improvement of society and environment, where it shouldn't hurt the environment and the sustainability, and what are the strategy to be adopted in the same. Later came Mrs. Maitri Manjunath and Levin Lester Raj Rodriguez, who presented a paper under the guidance of Dr. Giridhar sir. The topic was influence of employee engagement and work-life balance on organization performance, an empirical study in the post-COVID era. They presented how engaged employees are passionate towards their work and how they love their work, and how whenever they are made secure and whenever they are very busy in their work, they can give their 100% into their work, and they can balance their work life in a very nice and effective manner. Then the presentation was done by Mr. Shankar and Mr. Devraj R. They presented a paper on impact of central bank digital currency on foreign trade market. Cryptocurrency was used to be digital currency, but in increased illegal activities, and they mainly focused on the CBDC, and it's a two-type: general retail purpose and wholesale retail CBDC. And general purpose would be potentially available for use by private sector, non-financial consumers and business, while wholesale CBDC is designed for restricted access to select financial institution and for the settlement of inter-bank trade and related aspects. Then one more paper was presented by Mr. Atif Rahman. He concentrated on tourist perception about homestays in the post-COVID era, 19 era, and what are the strategies to overcome the same. Then one paper was presented by Anusha Lakshi under the guidance of Professor Medi and Dr. Jyotimani. The title of the paper was Scientific Research on the Financial Sector Sustainability Innovative Strategies for Business Development in the Current Scenario. And they concentrated on the significance of digital awareness, network issue, believing online, and security concern issues. Then one more paper was presented by Ms. Roshan S. Shetty on investigating the impact of social sustainable issue on staff satisfaction in healthcare facility. And she came up with a suggestion and ideas about how to see to it that the social sustainability can be maintained. Then came Chandrika Rao on the knowledge, perception, and consumer buying behavior towards organically grown food products in India. After that, the last presentation for yesterday's session was done by Prisha Rai, who was a fourth-year architecture student. She presented a paper on a walk for greenwash building to sustainable design approach for building the concept of sustainable design in the real world. Okay, there she concentrated on how to come up with a building with zero wastage, which will be a great contribution towards the nation as a whole. Today's session started exactly at 9:30. The first presenter was Acharya Chitralekha. She presented a paper on employee engagement strategy in IT sector in selected companies in Mangalore. She came up with the engagement strategies which are limited to IT industry, and her study showed various strategies influencing employee engagement and also tangible factors like salaries, how it has an impact on their engagement. Then one more presentation was done by Professor Jevita on the transformation of work culture due to COVID pandemic, an empirical study in Dakshina Kannada district. Here it was highlighted that culture in simple refers to the way a life of group of people, and it includes how they think